What's going on, guys? So this is going to be a little update about Fault and about Predecessor, just a couple things that I've seen come out in the past like week and a half, 2 weeks. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm going through the whole buying a house process, and you know, like, it's a fucking headache. So if anything, guys, honestly, probably until the end of September, my YouTube schedule, my stream schedule are going to be a little bit out of whack, because sometimes I literally have to take the whole day off to go handle something like 2 towns over, like in Orlando or some shit like that. So if anything, just be patient with me, guys. I'll try to get out as much content as possible as I can because of the whole situation. But talk about these games. All right, guys. So before we get into the video, really quick, if you guys still have not signed up for our giveaway that we're doing, the lightsaber giveaway, please make sure that you click on the link in the description in order to do so. And a lot of you have actually been asking me about my mugshot picture type that I have as my profile picture. So I'm gonna give you guys a story that's gonna be the next video, just because if you guys want to know, I got you. But if anything, let's get into the video here now. First and foremost, let's talk about Fault. Let's go ahead and hit up this gift that they have here. So in one of their recent posts, they actually wrote about the next 2 heroes, saying that they detected strange energies colliding in the duo lane. We're able to secure some footage of that. Long story short, they're saying this is footage of the duo lane. Now, they're not necessarily saying that these are duo lane characters. They just said the footage is in the duo lane. But I mean, I'd be willing to bet that that's probably a Decker Orb and a Grim ult. The fact that they're colliding with each other is interesting to me, to say the least. I don't know if that, like, honestly, it looks like the bluish purple orb here is actually exploding, like stopping it and exploding like before this actually gets to go anywhere. So maybe they're hinting that, hey, Decker's gonna be in the game, and her ability, her orb that she throws, maybe instead of a stun or something, maybe she's actually able to displace in a way herself now with one of her multiple abilities, because we know Strange Matter likes to do reworks and such. Like, who knows? Honestly, who knows? But honestly, here's what I've gathered from Strange Matters. Now, I know a lot about what's coming up. I know a lot that I can't say, but I'm going to provide a little bit of insight here, right? So the first thing that we notice here is they mentioned that they're taking a heavy look at the minions and matchmaking, along with bugs crushing implementation of new features. Go figure. I mean, honestly, that doesn't tell us much. In a sense, they just told us, hey, we're fixing stuff, we're improving on stuff, and we're adding new stuff. All right, no big details there, right? Moving forward, now they're improving aspects of the minions, improving pathing and movement behavior. Not a bad thing. The goal is to rework the overall feeling, and I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this here because I want us to remember this. Rework is to improve, the overall feeling and rewards for the laning phase, and to help decrease overall match time. I can't say too much about the next patch, even though I pretty much know everything that's going to be happening. But I can tell you guys that there's so many quality of life changes that are happening. So many things that you might not realize it, but this line that I'm highlighting right here is the key. The improving of the overall feeling and improving the rewards of the laning phase. How the game is going to change early game, mid game, late game is like the quality of life changes to it. They're going to be substantial, but they're going to be huge. That's partially to address this whole death ball meta that's been going on, but also simultaneously to make the, like, you know, like the traditional MOBA like laning aspects, like early game has to be very impactful, mid game decision making has to be crucial, and then late game, one mistake can cost you the entire game, right? So the fact that they're taking a step back, the fact that they're choosing to basically address what's going on before they focus too much on new content is huge, right? Now, they are adding new features. We all know the new UI is coming and stuff like that. and we know the 2 characters are coming, so they still got their departments on creating content, but the fact that they're taking a step back and saying, hey, this needs to be addressed and we're doing this for the sake of our game, they get a million tons of respect from me. You got me? Now, moving forward here. Now, in this paragraph here, they basically address the 5-stack problem, and I'll go ahead and quote Natty here because I kind of agree with him. It basically turned at one point into be in a 5-stack or get 5-stack. And everybody knows that you don't even need to have the best players, but if you can communicate easier, talk to the individuals, and hell, even have one good player telling everybody what to do, the odds of winning are a lot higher at that point. Now, what their temporary solution is, they limited the party system to a maximum of 3 players for now, until, you know, the player base grows and stuff like that. So I don't know if 3 players is the number that I would have chosen. I probably would have stuck with duo and solos, because you can put 2 duos and a solo in a party. But if you got a party of 3, then you gotta, it's like, okay, so I got a party of 3. Now we're hoping that another duo or 2 solos join in. And since you still got that party of 3, I can imagine people are going to want to 3-stack as much as possible, especially with buddies and such. So I don't know if that might be like the key to helping out their matchmaking times for the time being, but they still get to the number 3. I understand that helps them with the matchmaking in the MMR and being able to get different people of different ranges into a party and able to adequately matchmake you against others. So I get why they did 3. I just don't know if 3 would have been my choice, at least right now. I would have probably started off with a maximum of 2 right now, and then maybe in a few months, as the game continues to grow, they continue to expand and balance everything, then from there maybe increase it to 3, increase it to 4, etc. But if anything, they also removed your notifications for your rank at the end of battle, and they mentioned that you can still access it on the website. Now, I get the whole removing it after the battle, because it's one of those things that out of sight, out of mind. Like, if you really care about it, you'll go look at the website. But besides that, the average player that's there playing, they don't feel like they're playing ranked. They don't feel like they are, you know, going up against sweatier people. Like I get it. Out of sight, out of mind, like I was mentioning. Now, if anything, I mean, that's not going to be a bad thing. Like I said, quality of life thing, I think that's a good thing. I do personally believe that even the website ranks and everything, I personally do believe that they should just shut that off temporarily, still connect all that, not shut it off, but just make it invisible to the public. Like, you can still see your own personal rank, but get rid of the leaderboard. Like, a lot of people get sweaty when it comes down to that, or a lot of people might look up names on the other. Like, if you're trying to do quality of life things, my personal suggestion would be let people look at their own rank. Besides that, keep everything else private and keep collecting data, because that's what matters. A strange matter, right? Matters to strange. Go figure. All right, but let's go ahead and go on to Predecessor here. Now, Predecessor, they actually tease one of the new items, because if you guys weren't aware, back a few weeks ago, Predecessor made a Twitter post that asked the community, do you guys want more items or more characters? Now, when I saw it, it was like 80% said new characters. They don't give a shit about the items, which I was like, okay, so that says a lot about the community and what they want. But then I'm intrigued, because now I'm seeing in their last Instagram post, this says this is just one of 100 plus new items coming to Predecessor. So the fact that they're hinting one here, and they gave us another 3 here, like you have one that lets you respawn after you die. It's an active. So let's say you activate it, you got 8 seconds. If you die within those 8 seconds, you'll be respawned at the location where you left the spirit, quote unquote. Or there's another one here, like if you're below 30% maximum health, you now gain a magic shield that absorbs magic damage based on your level for 5 seconds. So it prevents caster last hits, basically. Now, I don't know how I feel about that 30%, because I'll be real with you, if a caster is beyond fed and he's ahead, if that shield kicks in after 30% and the caster just took 32% of your life, you're fucked. So I don't know if I like the percentage of it, but if anything, I see what they're doing, and I can see like if they manage to balance it out, it might be kind of useful. I don't know. It's really going to come down to how it actually applies in game and the base stats that are equipped on it. And then they mentioned also here like an active for an item, removing all your debuffs and grant movement speed for 1 second. So a get out of dodge type of card, basically, called Divine Blessing. So I get it. They're doing more quality of life things. They're adding a shit ton of new items now. 100+ items. That probably still includes the lower tier items as well, like low tier, mid tier, and then end items. So overall, improvement and expansion of their item system is what we're seeing here. So I find it interesting. I find it interesting that Strange Matter got that poll and still decided to add items. Maybe they were just trying to gauge the community's insight there. But I know for a fact from all the testing that I've done in the past, when you start adding a large amount of items, it's one thing to add 1 or 2 items and tune those as you see, right? But when you add a large amount of items at once, balancing all of those is going to take a while. Not just that. It's oftentimes when you put all these items together, especially if they got little effects like we see here on Stormbreaker, which quite honestly looks pretty cool. Now, you can honestly see bugs pop up because of stuff like that. Like, who knows? Like, maybe that lightning there is now going to freeze the minion AI and they have no idea why, right? Or maybe it tags a hero, and as soon as that lightning hits a hero, now fucking the hero's abilities don't work. You never know what type of bugs a company might run into. So I caution Predecessor, including this many items at once and this many actives and passives. It's going to be a good thing, but it's going to be more than likely, from my experience as a tester, it's going to be an overwhelming thing. And I'm very cautious as to the fact that if this is what they're choosing to add now, when is it that the community is going to be able to play? You feel me? Because if we're looking at these alpha weekends, so to speak, and they're doing all this, I can see them testing for months in the background until they're at a good, solid, place to where the community can play. Because as we know, Predecessor loves their quality. They stand for quality above all. So if they add these 100 items and that quality is not there, they will hold on to the project as long as they need to until that quality is done, which is a good thing for the community, but also it's a double-edged sword. That means it's going to be a further while until we get to play. So I like it. I like that Predecessor is taking risk. I like that Fault is taking a step back. If anything, that might, who knows, maybe towards the end of the year, these two projects might be at a little bit closer spot to each other. But I caution both of these companies as, as a content creator, as a tester, as a player myself, because we all, and I think I speak for everybody in the Paragon community, even though the ones that whine are the loudest ones that are always heard, right? But the majority of the Paragon community wants a Paragon-like game as fast as possible, but too many of them have come across this mentality of the game's not ready for me, I'll come back in a few months. So I caution them about making too many changes at once. I strongly advise, make these changes, make them concise, make them impactful, but just do few things at a time. You get me? Like, don't overwhelm yourselves to the point that the community suffers from it. But if anything, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the support. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, basically throughout the next month, my life is going to be hectic. Like, I had to re-record this video because in the middle of the recording, my realtor called me, started asking me questions and such. So it's really going to come down to the fact that throughout the next month, my scheduling is going to be hectic. I'll still try to provide content. I'll still try to hit up some things. I'll still, work my best on streaming and everything. But there's some days that I literally have to stop everything I'm doing, drive an hour to Orlando and take care of some stuff. Or out of nowhere, there's a problem with the rooms to go order. Now I'm 2 hours on the phone trying to deal with things. Like, I've had to deal with insurance, the DirecTV, my cars. Like, there is a million things that I've had to deal with throughout here. So hopefully by October. This is all done in the past. I'm definitely trying to get everything done out like as soon as possible, but just bear with me, guys. Thank you so much for all the support, and honestly, as always, until next time, peace.